Johannesburg's political spotlight has shifted dramatically. Kenny Kunene, the polarizing sushi king turned municipal councillor, has resigned, leaving behind a trail of controversy, power struggles, and unanswered questions. In his place steps Liam Jacobs, a relatively unknown but quietly respected political figure, now tasked with navigating one of the most chaotic councils in South Africa. This isn't just a leadership change, it's a test of whether real governance can rise from political wreckage. Who is Liam Jacobs? Can he survive where others failed? What does this mean for the future of Joburg's crumbling infrastructure and political trust? Stay locked in, because this moment could shape the city's next chapter. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button now. SA Unfiltered breaks the stories others avoid, raw, real, and without the noise. Johannesburg's political ground has once again trembled. In a move that few saw coming this soon, the controversial and often unpredictable Kenny Kunene has officially stepped down from his position as Johannesburg councillor. Known for his flamboyant style, outspoken manner, and long-standing reputation as the so-called Sushi King, Kunene's tenure in the Johannesburg Municipal Council was anything but ordinary. His resignation marks the end of a chaotic chapter, but more importantly, it signals the beginning of a new one, with the announcement that Liam Jacobs will step in to take over his seat. Now, who is Liam Jacobs? For many, the name might not yet ring the kind of political alarm bells associated with Johannesburg's more notorious political players. But Jacobs is not stepping into this role as a placeholder or caretaker. He represents a younger, more strategic wave of political minds being ushered in during a time of intense municipal volatility. And make no mistake, Johannesburg is not an easy city to govern. It is a city caught between vision and decay, power and paralysis. Anyone bold enough to step into a leadership role here isn't just grabbing a title. They're entering a political battlefield. Kunene's resignation didn't come from a place of peaceful retreat. It followed months of friction, controversy, and internal strain within his party and coalition alliances. Accusations of misconduct, governance instability, and explosive public outbursts made his position increasingly untenable. While Kunene often maintained that he was being targeted by political enemies and the media alike, the optics were undeniably damaging. His combative presence drew as much criticism as it did attention. In the end, many inside political circles viewed his departure as less of a resignation and more of a forced exit wrapped in defiance. But as one figure exits in a storm, another walks in under the weight of expectation. Liam Jacobs, by contrast, brings a completely different tone to the table. At just 35 years old, Jacobs has built a quiet reputation as a diligent and principled administrator, known more for his policy discipline than his media soundbites. Sources close to the coalition suggest Jacobs was handpicked not just for loyalty, but for his capacity to navigate a hostile council environment with calm and calculation, two qualities that were sorely lacking under Kunene's watch. However, Johannesburg politics is not about good intentions. It's about resilience, alliances, timing, and public trust. Jacobs now steps into a space where council meetings routinely descend into chaos, where service delivery is hanging by a thread, and where factionalism is a daily virus eating away at municipal functionality. To the public, the resignation of Kunene may feel like a small relief. But to those who understand the city's power games, it's only a shift in the chessboard, and Jacobs is the next piece in motion. Insiders say Jacobs is already preparing to distance himself from the style of his predecessor. Where Kunene thrived on confrontation and media drama, Jacobs is expected to bring a technocratic approach to governance, one that focuses more on budgets, infrastructure, and quiet maneuvering than political theater. But even that strategy carries risk. Will quiet professionalism be enough to win over communities that are tired of empty promises and power grabs? Or will Jacobs be swallowed up by the same machinery that turned Kunene's tenure into a headline graveyard? There's no doubt that Johannesburg is in desperate need of leadership that works. Potholes are not being fixed. Crime is escalating. Informal settlements are growing by the day, with basic services vanishing at an alarming rate. In the midst of all this, residents have grown disillusioned with the very idea of local government. They have stopped expecting transformation. Instead, many have learned to expect betrayal. Jacobs, no matter how honest or skilled he may be, is stepping into a position already poisoned by public mistrust. Still, some see this transition as a rare opportunity. A clean slate. The ability to reintroduce the idea that local leadership can actually serve the people, not just their own political survival. If Jacobs succeeds in stabilizing council dynamics and delivering even modest results, he could become the blueprint for a new kind of municipal leadership, one driven by performance rather than populism. But make no mistake, success will not be handed to him. It will be fought for in every late-night negotiation, every ward visit, every leaked email, and every brutal media cycle. And that's where the real test lies, not in Jacobs' qualifications, but in his endurance. Can he navigate the minefield of party politics? Can he resist the temptations and pitfalls that swallowed those before him? Will he be able to build coalitions without compromising on ethics? Will he survive the knives that are already being sharpened behind closed doors? This is South African politics. It doesn't forgive. It doesn't forget. And for those who dare to lead in Johannesburg, it doesn't allow second chances. Liam Jacobs will need more than good ideas. He'll need grit, strategy, and an unwavering commitment to stay above the rot that has hollowed out one of the country's most critical cities. Whether or not Jacobs will rise to the moment remains to be seen. But his appointment offers us a brief window, a moment where optimism is still possible. Whether that optimism turns into action depends on what happens next, and how long the system lets him lead before it turns on him too. So here we are, another political shuffle, another name in the spotlight, another chance for Johannesburg to get it right. But will Liam Jacobs be the change Joburg needs, or just another figure pulled into the same chaos that ousted his predecessor? The days ahead will reveal whether he's a reformer or a placeholder. One thing's certain, we'll be watching. If you care about leadership that matters, if you're tired of recycled promises and performative politics, this is your space.